Welcome. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina. Thank you for coming and sharing your energy with us today. Let's take a moment, open up, and sync our energies by taking a deep breath together. And as you release, allow and intend that any fears, anxieties, worries, or dramas pass through the sacred smoke, transmuted, give it to God or Goddess. Today, for the Daily Dharma, we're going to do something just a little different. I was told to do 2 piles, and it seems like based on the few cards that I did peek at, they flipped upright or whatnot, I'm seeing that there is, for yourself, possibly a whole new set of energies coming your way. Or maybe you will identify personally with the other pile, since this is just a general reading. But it looks like the first pile here is an individual really interested, intrigued about some new energy coming your way, but you're really questioning or looking into what kind of energy is at play in this partnership or collaboration or even romantic connection for some of you. So you'll have to change that to fit your situation. But I think that many will be looking for just more support in general in your life. And it looks like that is coming in. So we do have some other cards under the deck that I'll be referencing here. Under the deck here, we have You'll Find What You Seek. And on the back, it's about when you've been hurt in love, sometimes you have to lead your heart back into the right headspace. Okay, so interesting. Number 16, Inner Desires. Set some intentions. You're entering a phase of plenty or may have a sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. It comes out with number 20, Shared Inspiration. Beautiful. Some happy dolphins. Looks like a little family unit amongst a community of others in the background. Shared Inspiration says, throw yourself into a new project. Be willing to let go of time constraints and rules and really be aware of whatever fulfills your heart. So there's this inner desire stepping forward for you to pay attention to something and working with these other incoming energies, whether they're kind of harnessed and associated with just one individual in your situation. I think for many of us, we're going to be seeing a whole variety of new energies coming forward. Some will be friends and colleagues and new associations, new hobbies. Maybe you and your friends are starting to work on a new intention, whether that's like everybody's decided to learn a new language or everybody's decided to do karaoke or everybody's doing some kind of a group project endeavor, building or creating some type of enterprise or endeavor together. It seems like there's something here that the two or many of you coming together are really bouncing off of each other. And it's as if to say that even if there are two of you, that the energy that is coming together with this shared collaboration is greater than the sum of your parts, so to speak. So it's like one person's energy might just be like one energy, but then when you start to collaborate, two people is exponential, and it's as if you're the entire group playing off each other. Then the third one from that deck, number 14, single-mindedness, a need to really focus in and to, it's as if to say also with leadership, there's this, all of us going in the similar direction. And so there's this continuity. Is that the right sentiment? It's like when everybody's kind of on the same page, going in the same direction, working on the same set of values, then everything can really start to manifest a lot simpler. It says choose your own path and what's best suited to you. So this is definitely something here that you've personally been really, I'm hearing the word gestating, really nurturing this vision for a really long time, perhaps, or maybe it's a newer endeavor, but you're really being inspired by somebody else. Sorry for my dogs making some noise over there. But you're being told to really zero in on what it is that you want to accomplish there and how it is that you're going to hone in on what needs to happen at each level of the endeavor. It's like we can't market a product until we know what the product is. It's like we need to do a lot of pre-planning, a lot of finagling and finessing of the details, it looks like. From the archetypal deck, you come out with, or if this is indeed you, the 7 card, the Maiden, the 45, I believe this, 45, the Threshold, and 37, the Desert. So these ones I did get a little bit of a peek at here. There's something very innocent and spontaneous and very even vulnerable and sensitive about this vision that you've been wanting to bring forward. It's like nurturing your baby is what I kind of have this feeling of. And in between, when I shuffled for this pile and the next pile, I did get the Father and the Forest cards together, which shows this forest in the background, and I just need to censor that card possibly. But here we have all of this background, the evergreen trees that are also depicted there. So there's something about that, something about possibly your father patriarch, what's that word? The father's line, the patriarchal line, I guess it would be. And so I don't know if this is something that, yes, okay. So I do remember in the other deck, there is the Mentor coming out. So with this one being the Maiden, stepping from, I believe, this place of prayerful, it's scarcity type of depletion energy. It's like you've been doing this a long time and you've been able to maintain a very positive and youthful, excited energy about it, but it seems like you're getting a bit depleted and it seems like you've been praying for some type of deliverance here, and you're really standing at the portal here. I know that Portal Keeper is coming up in a later deck or from both a different deck and the other pile. So there's something here, single-mindedness, getting really in tune with what you're doing. And I feel like the archetypal decks are talking about being very clear about what we are manifesting from the universe. It's like, yeah, we don't necessarily want people to come forward. We want the right people at the right time and in the right energy. And so even the right people, if they're not in the right vibe, we might need to kind of, we won't see the same type of manifestation if they're in a depressed and depleted state versus if they're supported and co-inspired. And so we're talking about the difference of this energy, and your intention is coming into a greater awareness about how to be self-loving and honoring of the limitations of your energy and what type of receiving you are ready to do at this point, because it looks like you're really intending to get some help. And it's like, well, what kind of thing am I really focused in on? What's first, second, third, so you don't get overwhelmed. You can focus and bring each little detail into completion. I feel like there's a multi-level aspect again that's stepping forward with a step-by-step approach. And when we're overwhelmed, that whole saying about how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, it's the same type of a thing. Like, let's say that for instance, I tend to be somebody who I magnetize a lot of resources before I have the opportunity or time or the know-how to really plug these resources in. And so then I have all of these different things and it appears as these half-finished piles. And part of that is related to different gentlemen in different lines of my family. And so it's kind of like, I was thinking of this recently where it's like, if we are in that state, the way that we organize and the way that we continue to move and clean and honor these resources helps them to almost have their own energy. And it's like we are helping that energy to not be stagnant and to create that, whether you call it feng shui or more Tao energy, it's like we're helping to sculpt that reality to manifest it into being. So you come out with the 17, awakened awareness. I feel this is very connected to your roots and to your higher heart. And so I feel like it's also related to this maiden energy and this fatherly masculine energy. And so we may be speaking about a feminine energy on this side who has been operating and overdoing and over functioning in that masculine energy that was related to some past cycle here. But beautiful. Look at what comes next. Number 21, communication and co-creation. This has a very Three of Cups in the most pleasant communion with sisterhood energy, but it's not just sisterhood, it's beingness, it's soul tribe energy. And so it's like the prayerfulness and the compassion for self, as well as the manifestation that you want to leave this desert energy in the past to move forward into a better, more fulfilling destiny. Is like the excitement is with you, and so it's time for things to come through. So you're in the right receptive energy for people to find you in return. Okay, and then we're getting number 30, integration. It's all about, I feel, how you wear the burdens of your destiny and your manifestation. It's like for me, this vision and the resources, how you create order and make things more appropriate so that you can use the things that are there. I've recently watched Hoarders a few times, and it's like, yeah, we really need to guard against overly materialism and accumulation of things instead of helping them to move through our fingers and into the hands of those that can use those resources. And then in that way, we're creating that vacuum where then we can receive the resources that we need in this moment. So there's some kind of like helpfulness and synergy and paying it forward energy coming forward with this new stuff coming in for you. We're getting 27, furred and feathered friends. There's a lot of connectivity with the environment, with animal totems, and with your own sacred multidimensional energy. I'm seeing a lot of pride, a lot of fertility, a lot of wilderness, like going out and baying at the moon here, as well as a lot of grace and agility, some sass maybe, very concentrated patience in a lot of ways, giving back to the universe, growing in wisdom, reaching forward, reaching higher, keeping yourself on a big path, learning how to take it easy, getting that above perspective, gaining your following, your friends, being flexible. shedding old skin and burdens, and coming together in this energy of just expansive heart space and interconnectivity with the environment and the world. I don't know if you also have pets. You may be having some emotional communication or telepathy, some type of empathic exchanges with some type of animal kingdom or pet kingdom or friends and family. There's some real communion here, a lot of harmonic resonance at the very deep soul level. And I feel that there's an activation happening on both sides that is the reason for the reading. So we have you in the element of water. I believe the other side has fire at the minimum, but I think they came out with 2 elements. In the element of water, the overflow, it's like in this divine activation of the high heart in the heart space. It's like you're beaming this receptivity and energetic exchange. You're honoring something in a very deep way. And the water is the feminine energy. It's very priestess like, it's very psychic, intuitive, and emotionally vulnerable and fresh. It's like the true meaning of the word virgin is this purity of heart and mind, light as a feather. Feathered and furred friends, yes. And here we have the divine masculine. I had forgotten that, oh my gosh, you have divine masculine and the divine feminine together. That's incredible to finish up that section there. So yes, absolutely. You're both being divinely pushed and inspired, but also learning to receive. It's that catch and release and helping and supporting and so on. So we're getting towards the end of the time already, and we're not halfway done here. I wanted to go through some challenging aspects and then some helpful aspects. It looks like you've been challenged by some types of endings, whether this is consistently outgrowing your environment or learning things and feeling somewhat of that lack of stability and predictability in who and what is going to show up. It's like a lot of closing, a lot of endings. I don't know if your numerology has some 9s or at least an odd number, which generally says that we're learning through some bit of imbalance and trying to find our sacred footing in that way. This even is the 21, which reduces to 3, which is, of course, an odd number, but that creative feminine energy. And so we're talking also about fixed energy and how if it's a form of stress or grief for you, there's a need to really continue to outgrow the past in these powerful ways and to know what is steady and true about our own soul essence and where we've come from and where we're going to. There's a lot of reverence and again with the youthful feminine energy, it's like you're a curious student and someone who's a message bearer. You come through seeking and receiving. And I think because you're in this divine, innocent flow with your spirit and your beingness, that messages come through you in a very powerful and profound way. And yet you remain this humble emissary for the divine. And so I think that you are also creating a lot of change and momentum and activations for others in your world. But you're very integrous. You have a lot of character and it precedes you. Your reputation is sound and solid. Okay, you're coming through also with the sun, number 19, marriage, happiness, and bright prospects. This is really talking about a lot of brightness, clarity, a return of the light. It's like we've been in the desert, so it's like the sun's been bearing down on us, but we're also in this water element. So it's like we bring the nurturance. It's like we are the mana. We know how to receive of the mana in the desert for extended periods. And then we have this very happy looking page of cups. Looks like another feminine, youthful feminine. So again, with this youthful sisterhood energy. I'll also remark that the Page of Swords is underneath the deck here, and then behind that page, or excuse me, Queen of Pentacles. So there's some kind of matriarchal group or friend group or something, or family group with somebody that's older, the queen, somebody who has more attainment, and others around the situation coming out on this side. I don't know if you have a few children, feminine children, that are important in the situation. And here to close out the challenging energy is Two of Wands. Short journey near water, okay? Foresight, looking out for what comes next. I think this is the prayerfulness and the looking forward of, like, okay, I've been praying for it. I'm feeling that foreshadowing. The universe has told me that all I need to do is just stay the course and be steady and true. And I will say that even though you've had endings as part of the challenge and these youthful feminine energies showing up as challenges, it could say that this sisterhood hasn't really been able to connect for either some type of time or distance, or it could talk for some people about just a real simple but casual connection with these individuals on the surface. So yeah, again, with the challenges, even though the Sun is the happiest card in the deck, you probably have had challenges with relationships as far as either finding a marriage or finding your true happiness within a bond. But I think that you're really seeing that return of the Sun, and so you're being told to continue to look towards that brighter side and to continue to manifest and to speak from your highest intentions. On the positive end of things, you have Five of Shells. Yeah, that disappointment turning to hope and readjustment. And then it comes in with the Shaman too, divine wisdom and spiritual power. I feel like that's the mentorship capacity that's a little bit shined on by my light there. But yeah, it's those messages coming in. You've got this divine wisdom and spiritual power that is part of this reputation here, and you're shining a light for other individuals, and so you're bringing in more powerful connections, and so you're, I believe, bringing in somebody who can help you to reach that next level. So the Strength card, number 8, also courage and endurance. How do you eat an elephant? How do you become your truest divine self? One step at a time, one bite at a time, and you're really doing it. You've come from humble roots, and you've remained somewhat meek but powerful nonetheless. The elephant is nothing to be disregarded, with all kinds of powerful energy stepping forward there. And very wise strength, and again with the character. Then we have this Ace of Feathers. Yes, a truth teller as well. Somebody who comes through with a lot of clarity because you live what you speak. You have mental clarity and firm foundation here. You've created something. Your endeavor here that you're envisioning and creating here has a firm foundation, and others can tell. The Magician, willpower and creation. And so you've been getting those clues from the divine with that crow raven energy. It's like you're also potentially a gifted medium, and you're able to create based on ancestral karmas. And so with the Akashic tarot deck, I wanted to bring that out next here, because I wanted to say or see what is the nature of the involvement between yourself and this other. And we've got wishes fulfilled, again with the prayerfulness. And here is this huge harvest and bounty and abundance that's been brought into the home instead of the desert. Sands of time. Yes, you've been doing a lot of planning and research and patience and setting the space. And it's like you kind of tapping your toe a little bit, but it looks like you're about to get some type of visitor or some type of meeting set up, or this can definitely be something from the other side with that halo here. But if it's an individual embodied, it looks like somebody who's quite spiritual and quite also able to share their inspiration with you, because this is the light of the world. So it's somebody who's really coming through and matching your ability with this firefly energy to really lighten things up. So then from the vice versa deck, we have another page, the Page of Swords. It's like the questions with the deck here is about, so what is kind of the outcome of the connection? And I'm seeing you're like moving forward regardless of whether people are going to jump on or not. It's like, I have a job to do, so this is what I got to do, but come hang out if you want to. I'm going to be weeding, or I'm going to be building, or whatever. And people are compelled to follow you, if not in person and come and share the load and dig the holes with you, but to at least follow the journey to gain some inspiration to do their own thing, again with that shared inspiration. And Page of Swords again is also that one that was under the deck here. You've been carrying a heavy load, and look at the statue behind. It's like in the shadow of our forefathers, we've been taught that we have to do everything and be everything for everyone. And I feel like in recent years, we've really moved away from communal living and living with the tribe, and everybody didn't have to do everything. We had niches, and then people would share, and I would be able to be like, oh well, I broke my axe, I'm going to take it to the blacksmith or the woodworker and get that repaired, and then I'm going to stop by and grab a loaf of bread on the way, but I'll grab a loaf of bread also for this other person and gift them something for their thing, right? So there's this urge to come back into some type of a reciprocal supportive energy, and learning once again how to receive that is delivering us to this Two of Cups energy. And so even if you're not looking for love, it's a return to that soulmate, soul vibe energy of really being open and really seeing each other at a deep level. Like, it's like, wow, I prayed for this. Thank you so much for stopping and helping me fill my tire on my car with air, or whatever. Or, I had my hands full and somebody came and held the door for me. It's these little things. It's like when we give our attention in a positive way, such as that. And when we keep on doing the thing with that good, positive attitude of purity and trust and faith in our beingness and becomingness, and still have fun on the journey to the best of our ability, releasing any type of fear or grief or anxiety, eventually we will be met with this divine love energy. In the background, this depiction of that fountain often tells me about the Ace of Cups, where that imagery shows up. But I've noticed that, and this is also in the light of day too, it's a very above board, self-reflective, self-loving energy. But that fountain, I was about to say, also shows up on the back of the card here. This is the 10 of Cups. And before that, the Knight of Cups, coming forward and offering that cup forward. See how that gesture is extending something. And so again, whether it's romantic or whether it's just like a helping hand, there is this gesture made in your energy here of reaching out, but you still have armor on here. Of course, this can also be people reaching out to us and just that initial exchange. But we see these two individuals barefoot, possibly, like there's this idea of this desert island. They've got their tattered and torn clothing, but they are so rich and abundant nonetheless, because they have found this connection, all of these things. And it's like, how you define success, it is really what you find in this card. And it's like, well, I've already got love here, and so now the love becomes more extension of ourselves into the community, into our loving relationships, and into our service work and so on, into our connection with the divine. It's exponential connection and connectivity. And it looks like this is coming in with them. So the last few cards here, we've got love is the reason for this coming in. Each person in your life is there for a reason, and the reason always has something to do with love. No two flowers are quite the same, yet all are beautiful in their own way. It talks about comparisons are odious because they presume all other things are equal, which is never the case between you and me. So whether or not you're comparing your looks or how successful you are, how much money you have, or, am I as spiritual as this person? Am I as this as that? Am I good enough for love? Good enough for assistance? There's a need to really get clear about that judgmental energy and how to funnel that and integrate that into greater love. All there is to love has been there all along. This might be some type of, whether we had some separation energy with friends, family, colleagues, lovers, when you begin to find love with people and places where you haven't found it before, it's always because you've grown. So something may be coming back around and you're ready to kind of forgive and move forward and not hold and drag the past through this portal with you, because you're going to possibly get hung up on that transition point. Sometimes the good is hidden, and it can be hidden in the sands of time. And so if somebody does come back around, or if you're feeling that urge to reconnect with somebody, even on the friendship level, I think that we're being told to let bygones find their proper place. And this can definitely be in a collective manner, because we're in such a circus shit show of a time that it's important for us to continue to keep the faith and to keep inspiring each other and to find the good in what others have said or what they've asked. It's always there, even if they didn't mean for it to be there. Sherlockly yours, the universe. Clues for what you want are hidden all around you. And so even when we become in a certain situation where we feel taken advantage of or left alone or rejected, if we can come back into that maiden energy, that innocence, that purity, it's like these people are just trying to do their own thing and they're making their own mistakes. They've got their own baggage to carry around. And we can just simplify and just get back into our center, into that core of love moving forward. So tune in for the next one. I'll do the daily Dharma 2, will be the energies coming towards you at this time, and if you're interested in seeing that. So take good care of you and check in for that other reading. Until next time, folks.